Hello and welcome to Mid-America Baptist Theological Seminary. I'm Dr. Mikey Mewborn, and I'm the Associate Dean of the College at Mid-America, as well as the Campus Life Director of Mid-America College and Seminary. So it's my joy to be your professor for this wonderful course called The History of the Baptist. This is one of my favorite courses to teach at Mid-America because many people don't know Baptist history. They don't know how special it is. They don't know the contributions and the benefits that we have received because of our rich history as Baptists or Baptistic people. And so I'm excited to get into this course with you. Let's walk through the syllabus today. If you will, go ahead and grab your syllabus and let's look at what the expectations are as well as the objectives and the course schedule. If you look in the first page of your syllabus, it talks about the history of the Baptist. This course is CH 6150. It's a 3-hour credit course in the fall semester, August 18th through December 9th, 2020. Now, the class usually meets residentially as well from 8 o'clock to 8:50 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in room A202. If you'd like to join us for one of our residential classes, just make sure that you email me before you come. With COVID-19 protocols and different things like that, we may not be meeting on certain days. And so make sure that you contact me if just to find out if we are meeting, or we may not be meeting residentially at all this semester. So definitely check with me on those things before you make the drive, okay? Just tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm Mikey Mewborn. My email address is mmewborn@mabts.edu. My phone number is 901-483-1396. You can call or email me for appointments. Now, you might call, and a lot of times I'm teaching a class or I'm doing Zoom meetings or something like that. You may not get me directly. And because of that, you might just want to text me. But I prefer email. It's the best way to keep track of questions that you might have. So email is the best way to reach me. But definitely contact me if you want to meet up for an appointment or something like that. Let me give you a course description. This course will serve as an interpretive survey of the history of the Baptist from the 17th century to the present. 3 specific divisions include the rise of the development of the early Baptist, number 2, Baptist beginnings in the United States to the formation of the Southern Baptist Convention, and then the history of the Southern Baptist Convention to the present. You will be surprised when you learn more about the Southern Baptist Convention. I was greatly surprised to learn the beginning of how it started and then some of the major events that happened throughout its years as a convention. So that'll be a lot of fun to jump into as well as how Baptists brought freedom of religion to America. And that's got a little tidbit of what's coming, but it's a wonderful study. Now, the course objectives: to nurture historical critical thinking. Number 2, to demonstrate broad understanding of the historical development of Baptist theology, institutions, and lifestyles from the 17th century to the present. Number 3, to develop an awareness of the biblical importance of Baptist views. This will be very important. Why does it matter? Why do Baptist beliefs really matter? And what are they, number 1, but then why do they matter? Then we see number 4, to gain an understanding of the origin and development of the Southern Baptist Convention. Number 5, to apply knowledge of the Baptist past to current issues and problems in Baptist life. And then number 6, to create a desire within the student to make reading in Baptist history and theology a lifelong pursuit essential to his life as a Baptist minister. So this past summer, we had a course in Baptist history for a 2-month course, and it was this class. And I was amazed by the response by our students. They were so overwhelmed and blown away and excited about Baptist history. Many of them wrote about their learnings and their education about this through the interactive forum, but several people wrote papers about it. And it excited them to know that their churches, the churches that they grew up in or the churches they're part of now, have such a rich history of standing up for the Scripture, the sufficiency of the Word of God. And not just that, but also what are the doctrines that really form how we think and Baptists are based on those types of things. Baptist beliefs are. So it's kind of neat when you really look at what Baptist history is all about. Even if you don't go to a Baptist church, this is a wonderful class to have because it helps you to see how the Southern Baptist Convention became the largest convention in the United States for Christian beliefs from the Baptist world, of course, and in the Christian world in general. But it became such a huge convention. And why is that? What was God's plan in all of that? Was missions really such a big deal back then? Is it such a big deal today? And so we'll look into a lot of those different things. All right, let's get into the course requirements. So hopefully you have your syllabus out, and we're going to look through some of these course requirements. Number one, each student must read and understand the syllabus in its entirety. Furthermore, each student must sign the last page of the contract and submit to the professor by Thursday, August the 20th. Failure to do so will result in a 3% deduction on the student's final grade. Online students, now that's you, can post, I have read the syllabus in its entirety. Just send that to me by August the 20th and you'll be good to go. Okay, so email that to me. That way I have that. Because if you don't, then I don't know if you've read the syllabus, and I need to know that you've read it and you understand it. All right, next, required reading. So for us, there is one major book that we're looking at, Leon Macbeth's book called The Baptist, or titled The Baptist Heritage. This is a wonderful resource for you to have in your library. I go back to this book a lot throughout the years, or I have, and it's really helped me to understand Baptist beliefs. And so we'll be reading this book together. Also, in addition to that, you will need to read 100 pages in journal articles on subjects related to Baptist history. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Now, when we're looking at other expectations, the first thing that you're going to have to look at is exams and quizzes. Each student will complete both a midterm and a final examination. The final exam will not be comprehensive. That's good news, right? Will not be comprehensive. Along with exams, quizzes will be given periodically through the semester. Check course schedule for these important dates. Now, let me share with you something about tests and exams and quizzes and things like that. For online students, usually the tests are open over a period of 2, 3, 4 days. And what that means is a test will open up. It'll be available for you to take the test, maybe starting on a Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. That test will be open for maybe 3, 4 days, and then it will close. Once it's closed, it will no longer be available for you to take the test. And so you need to take it within that time period. That's number one. Number two, once you open the quiz, you'll have maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to take the quiz or the exam, whatever it might be. And so that's important. When you're taking quizzes, you don't have to worry about a proctor, somebody that's there watching you take the exam. But when you are taking the midterm and the final examination, you will need a proctor. And that means you need to secure somebody to watch you take the exam. Now, the way that this works is you will send me the proctor's full name and their email address, and I will email them directly, okay? The problem with that often is that I'm sent the wrong email addresses. It happens a lot. And so I encourage you, check the email address before you send it to me. And better yet, just have the person that's going to be your proctor email me, and I will mark them down as in my proctor roster, if you will, okay? And so it's important. These are important things to know. When the test opens, how long you will have to take it. And so if you're going to take an exam online, let me just share with you, what you'll do is you'll go in the specific week on Moodle, and when you click on that week, it'll say midterm examination, or it'll say quiz or final exam, whatever, and you click on that, and if it's not open, it'll let you know it's not open yet. But if it says it is open, quizzes, you will not need a passcode. But for midterm and final, you will, and that's why the proctor will need to be there so that they can they can put in the passcode for you, okay? And so that's how it works. It's very simple. The proctor will be given instructions for you to take the exam, and it's a simple process, but it's something we need to do, of course, since you guys are online, and we need to make sure that we take these tests with the utmost integrity, and we want to encourage that as much as possible, okay? And so that's what we're looking at there, all right? Class project. Now we could also call this a research paper. The student will write an 18-page, approximate 18-page double-spaced paper related to a topic from the class. All topics must be approved by the professor. The work will be typed and written according to Kate Turabian, a manual for writers of term papers, theses, and dissertations, 9th edition, and that's from 2018. We also will supply you with the Mid-America Turabian Guide. And if you don't have that, please contact us at campuslife@mabts.edu. We want to make sure that you get the Turabian Guide because this is helpful in writing papers. I use it all the time for not just writing myself, but for grading. And so this is a helpful guide to help us in the process of writing papers and those types of things. So I encourage you, use the Turabian Guide. The paper must be original to this course and 15 full pages of text. Do not give us an old paper that you've written before in the past. It needs to be new to this course. So it'll be 15 full pages of text of your writing, okay, the content, and then it'll have a title page along with it, then contents, and then bibliography. That's why we're saying it's about 18 pages, okay? A minimum of 20 sources, which include at least 4 scholarly journals, must be cited in the paper. The paper will be due on the day indicated in the course schedule. We'll look at that in a minute. Late papers will be penalized. This paper will be graded using the rubric in the syllabus. The paper is worth 25% of your final grade. That's a big chunk. You've got to turn this paper in. It's a major part of your grade. Okay. Also, honor code. We at Mid-America uphold the highest standards. We want to make sure that our students are not caught up in plagiarism or any form of cheating, and so we always work with them as best that we can. If you have any questions about plagiarism, you can always email me. You can Google plagiarism, and it'll show you what's wrong. Ultimately, when someone else gives an idea or they give a thought or they give a quote in a book, wherever it might be, just quote it and cite it. That's the biggest, give a citation for it. That's the biggest thing. Make sure that you don't take credit for other people's work, okay? So you need to have a lot of footnotes. You need to have references. You need to have those types of things. If you don't, we're going to know, and you'll be counted off for that. So be careful about those things. Next, book review. Student will write a 3 to 5 page book review about the book, The Baptist Heritage. The student should follow the guidelines of the book review worksheet in the syllabus. Very simple. And then next, this is very important, attendance policy and posting requirements for online students. Students are required to post comments online for each class session for their participation grades. Students should respond to both questions posted by the professor and respond to at least one post by another class member. Posting fewer than 3 times per week will result in a lower grade. Weekly posts must be submitted by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about posting because this is going to be in the interactive forum. It's very simple. So when you see a video posted, what you'll do is you'll click on that video. You'll watch that video. Then you will go into the interactive forum. In the interactive forum, there will be a question there related to that lesson or that session or whatever it's called. It'll be related to it. It'll have the same number. What you will do is you will see a question posted there. You will answer that question, right? So that'll be the first post. Then once somebody else posts their answer to the question, you respond to their post and you make a comment on their post, okay? It's very important. 2 posts per session or per lesson. Most weeks, there are 3 lessons. So if you multiply that out, 3 times 2 posts per lesson, that'll be 6 postings that you'll need to do per week on a normal week, okay, or in a normal week. So make sure that you know about that, all right? Another thing about posting, I encourage people, posts need to be in the range of 3 to 5 sentences. Don't do a very short post of saying, I agree, sounds good, yes. Don't do something like that. Give a reason why you agree, or give a statement about it. When you're answering my questions, make sure that you give 3 to 5 sentences. Don't give 10 sentences. Don't give us a book to read. Just give us a certain amount of sentences that help us through that. Posting on the interactive forum will be used to mark attendance as well as participation grade. Furthermore, this is a big deal. Students are required to complete the checklist at the end of every week. So you'll see the checklist. Go in there and check off. It'll be simple. I've done my reading, I've done my watching, and I've done my posting. Check those things off. Make sure you've done them and check them off. Also, students are required to use Grammarly software for work submitted in class. Okay? Next thing, late assignments. All assignments, including reading reports, are expected to be turned in on the indicated due date at the beginning of the class period, whether or not you are present. So make sure that you get them in there. Now, this is for residential and online. That's why it has some of the verbiage it has. But if you don't turn them in on the day that is given to you or specified, it's going to be 5% or 5 points per day off the grade of that paper or that assignment. So make sure you get those in. Missed examinations, we understand that things happen. We also understand that there are things scheduled on your calendar that might cause you to miss certain things. If that is the case, you need to let me know ahead of time. For instance, if you're going out of the country and you're not going to be able to take the test, or you're going to be traveling, or whatever it might be, you're going to have probably 4 days to do it anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. You'll be able to take it, and you can. A lot of these tests you can take on your phone, so it's very simple. Whether you have Wi-Fi or you just have cellular, you can still take these exams. It's a little bit more difficult because it's hard to type on your phone, but you can take them. And so missed examinations, no one should miss an exam. All right, and you'll be given ample time to do it, so you should not miss an exam. But if you are going to, let me know and I'll set up a time. Or if you do miss it, because of the amount of time, there's really no makeups for this. So unless an emergency takes place, okay? So let me know what's going on with you if there's an issue with those things. Class grading. Very simple. Participation grade is 10%, midterm exam 20%, final exam 20%, papers 25%, assigned reading 15%, book review 10%. All right. When we look at the grade point scale, all of that, we look at the grade point averages. We're looking at the 12-point system grading scale. So if you have your syllabus out, it says an A is at 97 to 100, A minus is 95 to 96, B plus is 93, 94, B is 90 to 92. So you've got to do well on everything. This is important. You can't just say, oh, I'll do okay on the paper, but I'm going to do well on my tests. It won't look right. It won't look well. It won't look good on your grade point average. So make sure that you give your best on everything that you do. And then course and syllabus modifications. Because this is an online course, I'm not planning on changing many things. If you're residential, things happen, pandemics, things like that. We have to make changes every once in a while, but with an online course, I don't expect it, but I'll let you know if anything has to change. Let's jump into the class schedule. It's really simple. I set it up by week, date, topic of the day, and reading assignments. Oh, and reading and assignments and quizzes and tests and things like that. So it's really, really simple. One of the things that I will push for in your course schedules, we will do quizzes every once in a while, and those will pop up, and I'll let you know when they're coming up. They'll be very, very simple. I'll tell you what's needed and what's needed for online courses, but also they prepare you for taking the midterm and final examination. It's really simple. So if you're looking at the schedule with me, you see there that you have your, let's just say the topic of the day, and it'll go through all those, but then it'll have the reading assignments on the right-hand side. So you stick with all of that. Midterm examination is October the 1st. And then there'll be quizzes leading up to that, and then there'll be a couple quizzes after that. And then your book review will be due on November the 19th. And then your term paper will be due on December the 1st. Reading reports will be due on December the 3rd. Final examination will be due the week of December the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, that week. And so I'll make sure that you get that, okay? But that's what's going on. It's a wonderful class, a lot of reading. You need to put in time and work on this paper because it's important that you're able to flesh out what the thoughts are in these different topics. I also have provided for you, if you're looking for a topic for your paper, you can look at the selected bibliography or the course schedule, and you will find some good topics to write on. And so I encourage you to look over that. And then if you will skip on down, and I believe it's like page 11 of your syllabus, somewhere like that, you'll see a grading rubric for papers. If you want to write a very good paper, if you want to write a strong paper, well-written paper, you need to look at this rubric. This is how I grade your papers. So read the rubric. Know what's expected of you, okay? And then online posting rubrics. As I said, your postings need to be about 3 to 5 sentences, and make sure that you get them in, okay? And they're done well. How much of the reading have you done? And I need a percentage of that. So if you have read 50% of the reading, you need to let me know. And that's going to be a major hit on your grade. You need to read all the reading. So if you read 80% of the reading, you need to let me know. So remember, Leon Macbeth's book, as well as 100 pages in some scholarly journals or other sources. Okay? And then you will need to, of course, write the book review. And I've given you a template for writing the book review, and it's the last page of your syllabus. And so need to know identification, thesis, summary, evaluation, interaction, things like that. It's very, very simple. As I said at the beginning of this course overview or this syllabus overview, I told you that Baptist history is one of my favorite classes to teach, or history of the Baptist is one of my favorite. It really is. And throughout this semester, you're going to learn a lot of things that I believe are going to be good for your theology, for your doctrines. It's going to be very good for the way that you apply the scripture. You're going to see people that were persecuted for their faith, people that were radically saved, came to know Christ in such an unusual way. We're going to see people, we're going to learn a lot about areas of struggles with racism and struggles with social injustices. The Baptists are such an interesting group because they have been in the middle of social injustice, but they've also broken out of it, and they've spoken life into it in many ways. So this is going to be incredible for us to look into this great history. All right. Hey, good to be with you, and look forward to class starting. God bless you. Bye-bye.